Steve, I want to move on to a league experiencing a ratings collapse as well, and that's the WNBA. They're down 50% overall since Caitlin Clark exited with the quadricep injury. The Fever games are down 53% without Caitlin Clark. Do you think the denial is over as it relates from these women that, oh yeah, it's Angel Reese and the league is up as a whole, and it's Caitlin and Angel that have done this? I mean, this always, the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, is another one of these clowns that loves to, well, she did this, and the WNBA, we put all these pieces in place to experience all this growth. Caitlin Clark disappears with a quad injury, and the entire league craters ratings. I think this debate is over.
Look, that commissioner taking credit for the ascension of the league, it's akin to Sasha Vujacic taking credit for the 2 Laker titles in 2009 and 10, okay? But I'm going to go a little different direction than you, Whitlock. Losing half their audience at 50%, this is only half of the loss I thought they'd have. I truly thought that the ratings would actually dip even more. I'm actually surprised they've only lost half of their audience. Here's my question to you, Jason. Should the numbers continue to decline, which I think they will the longer she stays out, and I'm not so sure when she's going to come back, at what point will there be think pieces from the Jamel Hills of the world that not supporting a Caitlin Clark-less NBA is racist? That all you white people that have turned the televisions off, that are no longer watching the WNBA, you are now showing your racism. Because you know it's going to come.
Those pieces are being written as we speak. They're just waiting to hit the send button. There's no question about it. Here's where I will disagree with you, because I do think it's like, hey, she's out a couple, 2 or 3 games. And people like me, now I'm just hooked. I'm kind of an idiot. But people they're still watching the league to see what's going on in the rest of the league in anticipation of, like, how are Caitlin and the Fever going to fit in? Do they have a chance to win the title? But the longer this goes, and particularly I believe this weekend, maybe it was on Saturday, I think the Fever are playing the Liberty again, who the Liberty are undefeated, and they played a really good game earlier this year where I think the Fever lost by 2 points and probably should have won that game. But if she misses this weekend's game against the Liberty, I think you're going to see the numbers continue to dip. The longer she stays out, we're going to get back to, if she's out another 10 days, which I don't think that's a possibility, but if it is, she's out another 10 days, we're going to get back to the numbers before Caitlin Clark. We'll go BC before Caitlin. We'll get back to those numbers. But I think 50% dip with her just being out 2 weeks is a significant drop.
So, Jason, you're like that rubbernecker on the freeway. We've all driven down the freeway. We think it's like 7, 8 o'clock. We think there's no traffic. And all of a sudden you see brake lights. And you're like, what is this? What is it? And it turns out that there's an accident on the other freeway going the opposite direction. It just irks my nerve. But everyone rubbernecks to look over. So eventually what you're saying is, as soon as we've seen the accident, we've seen the collision, probably an Asian driver involved, then eventually we just drive off real fast. We stop caring. So right now we're at that stage. We are nearing the collision. We see the ambulance. We see the cop cars. But as soon as we get past it, we just drive off. So your theory right now, we are the rubberneckers. We're getting right next to the accident.
And I'll say this. The more experienced driver gets less likely to rubberneck the more, because, like, man, I've seen this. And what could happen if Caitlin Clark stays out for too long, it's going to really hurt the league, because some of us have looked around and it's like, man, this is a very barren play. There's nothing out here other than Caitlin Clark. And so, because that's what, it's like last night, Paige Beckers had 35 points, and they're trying to make a big deal out of it. It got a headline on ESPN. They got the brakes beat off of them, Dallas did, and it's a bad team. But if you happen to look around at that game and saw that 35 point, and Paige Beckers looked pretty good, the rest of that team is a hot mess. And I've looked close enough. This is how deep in the weeds I am, because I'm halfway interested in the Dallas Wings because of Paige Beckers. But now that I've looked close under the hood, it's like this Dejanay Carrington plays on that team. They've brought her girlfriend, Nylisa Smith, over to that team. I just happened to see a video of Nylisa Smith and Dejanay Carrington the night before at a hotel swimming pool. Dejanay Carrington in a bikini, and there's some sort of sexual energy going on. There's some video they put out of them flirting in the pool, and Paige Beckers maybe telling them, hey, it's past curfew, go to bed. And I'm keeping it 1,000% real. That Dallas Wings team looks like a gay slumber party, and it's a hot mess. They're one of the worst teams. They're one of the worst teams in the league. And the coach, some dude, I can't even pronounce his name, he looks pretty feminine. I think his sister is on the coaching staff. Paige Beckers is on one of the worst teams in the WNBA. They got that Dejanay Carrington, who's a thug, it's just a losing culture. And so I'm telling, as people look around trying to stay connected to the WNBA while they're waiting on Caitlin Clark, they may look around and see things that repulse them and say, oh, this is why I didn't watch the WNBA. I don't want to see a lesbian slumber party.
Yeah, if Paige had any guts, she'd say, hey, girls, take your scissors up to your room. But it seems like every WNBA team, it's like they're trying to replicate Set It Off or something like that, short of the robbing the banks. It's so displeasing. I mean, think about the big WNBA stories. And again, you watch it, I don't, so I'm coming from a different vantage point. But the only times I ever really see the WNBA on my timeline is someone like Ajay Wilson bitching and moaning about the fans or the media or Dijonay ripping off someone's weave in the post. It's not a pleasing league. It's unlikable. And I'm going to repeat something that I say many times. The WNBA, overall, their culture, it's the most unlikable of any sport that I can remember.
There's no question about it. And as someone that's been killing time and may or may, I don't want to cop to this officially, but may or may not have, there's someone on this show between me and you that may have placed a wager or two on a WNBA game while waiting for Caitlin and trying to make the games more interesting. I'm not saying it was me, but there's someone on screen right now that has wagered on WNBA games. And I'm just telling you, the more I look around, it's like I get what people are talking about, because I get hostile messages on social media, on X, emails. I can't believe you're watching this, Whitlock. It's a bunch of angry lesbians. And the more I watch without Caitlin, the more I go, yeah, that is kind of what this league is. And it is a tiny bit uncomfortable, but I got to admit, I'm hooked. I love it. I'm hoping that Caitlin plays this weekend. I'd love to see them up against the... Don't miss a second of Fearless. Hit that like button and subscribe to keep up with our latest content.